what do you mean there's another Zelda game? The last one came out about 2 minutes ago. But I have got a load of beginner's tips for it here, so I guess it is real. And whether you're a Zelda aficionado or a complete newcomer to the series, there'll be something in here you find useful. So let's get into it, shall we? Remember to collect every echo you see. Nearly every enemy and many of the items you encounter can be recorded as echoes to be used at Her Majesty's leisure. You never know when a particular echo may come in handy, so it's best to collect every single one. Seriously, we can't stress this enough, never miss an opportunity to collect an echo. And always remember that every echo has a cost. While there's a vast array of echoes Zelda can create, you can only have a certain number of echoes active at one time. Each echo has a cost, symbolised by the little triangles found in the echo collection in your notebook, and you can keep an eye on your cost limit by counting the number of triangles that make up Tri's tail. Their echo capacity is, of course, a thing you'll be able to upgrade over the course of the game, but keep in mind that certain echoes will see their cost increase as you upgrade them, so you'll always be playing a little bit of cat and mouse with yourself as your stuff constantly expands to use up all of your resources, like how you've never got enough disk space, or you've never got a big enough cupboard for towels, or how the M25 never has enough lanes. Life is tough, innit? Fortunately, in Echoes of Wisdom, you can summon plenty of help to get you through it. Enemy echoes have levels. After defeating an enemy for the first time in Echoes of Wisdom, you'll find yourself collecting its echoes, and that's very handy because Zelda's not that good in a fight, and as all Zelda fans know, nearly every game contains multiple versions of the same enemy that vary in their abilities or their toughness. Thankfully, Zelda can collect all these variants as well. While these will cost more to use, the ally Zelda gains will be more powerful and therefore far more useful in battle. And remember, echoes can be made underwater. It's a Zelda game, so at some point you're going to find yourself in the drink. Don't fear though, Zelda can still make echoes underwater and even use them to solve puzzles. At this point, our international friends might want to make a bunch of bottle of water jokes in the comments. Feel free, fill your boots, fill your bottles, if you will. 4 heart pieces equals 1 heart container. Yes, heart pieces are back and they work in much the same way as before. They can be found in chests, earned from certain minigames, or just hanging out in Hyrule, but all awaiting for you to collect them. For every 4 you collect, Zelda will gain an extra heart container to help her stay alive just that little bit longer. Bed echoes heal hearts. One of the first echoes you obtain is for a bed, and not only does it come in handy when bridging gaps, but sleeping on it can restore Zelda's health. As you journey through Hyrule, you'll even find yourself collecting echoes for far fancier looking beds if you want to snooze in style, combining form, function, and convenience like a sort of interdimensional IKEA. Collect ingredients to make smoothies. As you explore Hyrule, you'll find yourself both collecting ingredients and meeting business scrubs who will turn them into smoothies. From healing hearts to lightning shields, every smoothie provides a useful effect depending on the situation, even replenishing your Swordfighter energy, which is handy because Swordfighter Form has a limit. Zelda can only remain in Swordfighter form for a short period of time, and once the energy gauge is empty, you'll have to fill it again before she can wield a sword again. Due to this, you'll want to use Swordfighter form wisely, sparingly. It's not worth wasting on easy enemies when a tougher challenge could be around the corner, but to be clear, you are supposed to use it. It's not like the 700 fortified mana potions that you've been keeping for a rainy day since the year Skyrim came out. Also, keep in mind, you can't make echoes while in Swordfighter form. Since Swordfighter form sees Zelda essentially turning into Link, her echo gathering abilities will be suspended. Any echoes you've created before using Swordfighter form will, however, remain in play. So the upshot is that it's a good idea to think a few steps ahead about what sort of echoes you're going to need before you get your sword out. Even if you are trying to conserve Swordfighter energy, there are still ways to get stuck in without getting properly stuck in, like using Zelda's bind ability, which is this year's Ultrahand, to cheekily hold an enemy in place while your echoes pummel them. It's kinda cruel, actually, but it's funny. Collect might crystals and upgrade the energy gauge first. Lubery will turn might crystals into upgrades for your weapons and energy gauge for Swordfighter form. Keep an eye on how many might crystals you have and pop back to Lubury regularly to spend them on those upgrades. We highly recommend upgrading the Swordfighter Form energy gauge before you do anything else, because it doesn't matter how powerful your sword is if you can barely get it out. Activate waypoints wherever you see them. Waypoints are the fast travel system in Echoes of Wisdom, being found in both the Hyrule overworld and within dungeons. Make sure you activate every waypoint you encounter, as they will make it so much easier to revisit locations, especially when you're hunting down those all-important heart pieces. Get a horse. Sure, waypoints are quite speedy, but they can't take you everywhere and they can't take you there in style. You may even miss something important like a heart piece or a landmark. It's like if you go everywhere on the tube instead of walking, you might miss the fact that there's actually quite a lot of stuff between Leicester Square and Covent Garden, or I don't know. So if you want to travel across Hyrule quickly and in style and not miss anything, it's time to get yourself a horse. While Zelda can only rent horses in the beginning, she can eventually get a permanent horse, and after learning the Carrot Echo, you can summon it to your location, Red Dead Redemption style. As you're travelling around, don't worry if you missed any important items in either a dungeon or a section of the Stilled World, because you're always able to backtrack, return to previous places, whatever you want to do. And that's the freedom of having your own transport. You see, a horse is kind of like a car, and cars give you freedom, and in many ways Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is like a car because it also gives you freedom. Freedom to approach puzzles, travel and combat in any way you can imagine. Echoes of Wisdom is a game brimming with sandbox creativity, so whenever you do find yourself stuck, take a look at your Echo collection. Maybe there's an Echo you haven't used in a while, which would be perfect for this situation, or maybe you're actually missing a very useful Echo and simply need to go off and track it down. Either way, there's multiple ways you can approach nearly every situation in Echoes of Wisdom, so enjoy having that freedom to experiment. And yeah, and the game isn't like a car. I get it. It was a bad analogy. It was a bad segue, really. And this is an even worse segue to the fact that if you want more information on Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, including whether or not you should get it, we've recently published a review video. You can also read the Eurogamer review at Eurogamer.com, where you'll also find an ongoing walkthrough, a suite of guides, just Zelda, mate. Just loads of Zelda stuff. Zelda absolutely coming out your ears. We're absolutely mad for it over at Eurogamer. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more of our tips and tricks videos, reviews, features. We upload multiple times per week. And if you've got your own hot tips for the new Zelda, why not share them in the comments here? You might well have better ones than ours. You might have figured out how to do something that we haven't. By all means, let us know. Thank you so much. Bye bye.